Hi everybody. This video is about our long assignment number 2. If you're not ready to think about the long assignment number 2 yet, then pause this video and come back. Okay. So long assignment number 2, it's our last big one. The only thing we'll have after this is just a final class reflection. So this is it, right? Last few weeks. With this assignment, we've got two things going on. We're creating a user manual and process descriptions to go inside that user manual. And really the user manual part is just kind of an excuse for us to put things together and work on hyperlinking within a document. So I really wouldn't worry about the manual part of it. The focus is the descriptions. So you've got two descriptions that you have to do. One is a process description and the other is a human system description. Your textbook differentiates between these two. To be honest, in my experience, I haven't had that. I've always just known them as both as process descriptions. And I think if you Google them, I don't know if you're going to find human system. It's probably mostly just going to show up on a process description. But the book differentiates between them, and I think it's kind of interesting to think of it that way. So that's what we're going to do. So a process description in the book is something where you're describing the workflow and really not focusing on people. Doesn't mean that there aren't people involved, but the focus isn't them. So, for example, and there might not be any people involved at all. For example, it could be a scientific thing, right? Like how something works, or like I think I put in there how acid rain is created or how a fuel cell works. Those are natural processes that happen, and you're describing those. But it could be things that involve humans. We're just not focusing on the humans. You know, it could be something as simple as how a document works its way through a department. It could be something like how a party has to be organized or run. It could be something like how a stadium needs to be filled. So just even looking at that one, right? Maybe the parking part. A process description would sound like cars arrive, gates are open, 3 hours at a time. As cars arrive, they are funneled through 4 different entrances where money is collected. Cars are directed to one of 4 different areas. They are filled, first A, then B, then C, then D, in order to ensure the right flow. Notice that there's people involved in all of that, but we're not focusing on the people. We're just focusing on the process of what happens. If it's end of the month billing, if we do it as a process description, we're focused on the paperwork, the actual things that are involved. The reconciliation happens when, the bills are collected and processed. That was a little harder to do as a process, but anyways, we're not involving the people as much. The human system is definitely involving the people. So you could have something about how to fill out a form, how to, we could do the billing with that one, right? Where it's like, the payroll or the billing clerks collect, this information, they pass it on to these people, it's run, it's run through this software, something like that. You could also have something like a retail business. The customer brings the merchandise to the cashier validates the merchandise, enters the price. But notice through all of these things, because at this point you're asking yourself, why is this any different than instructions, which we did a few weeks ago? It is different because we're not writing these for the people necessarily who are doing them. In other words, my goal is not to get you, the reader, to do an action and to help you know all the little specific things that you have to press and do. This is about workflow. It's about somebody maybe who's not even doing that particular action, understanding it. So a way to think about it would be if there's a new manager or supervisor that starts and they want to understand the process of how something happens in the department or how something happens in the store, they would read the process description or the human system description to find out how things work. And then as they look at it, they could make adjustments or ask questions like, well, why does it have to go to, the billing clerk before it goes to the accountant or whatever it is? I don't know, to me, the way I think about it is that instructions use the word you even if it's implied, right? It's like you insert tab A into tab B. But in a process description, we never use the word you. It's always a noun. So things like the clerk, or the cashier, or the customer, or the supervisor. But or in a non-human one, it might be, the rain, or the fuel cell, or the circuit, whatever it is that we're talking about, or the cars. It's always nouns. It's never the action. It's never you, right? We're not necessarily driving someone to do an action. We're just explaining what happens. So I hope that helps. There's definitely a lot of good examples in your textbook. There's examples out on the internet. I feel free to go check those out to help inspire you for what to write and how to write it. We will get to the user manual part of it, but focus right now on the descriptions, and know that if you haven't done these already, you will have to do them. I mean, this is something that no matter what job you have, at some point someone's going to ask you to either review the existing process description for your job or ask you to write one, especially if something new happens. That way, if you're on leave or you leave, then someone will know what's happening. And again, it just as a supervisor, it gives you the opportunity to kind of see what's happening and how things are being processed in the department. All right, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I look forward to reading your descriptions. Thanks.